Yep. All right, boys. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, oh,
Oh.
Ooh, hot.
right to the eyes.
Yeah. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of Let's Talk Snowboarding Gear Chat here from the Ski Shack. And today we're going to be talking about bindings, snowboard bindings, and some of the new technology that has been coming out over the last handful of years, and some of the more traditional bindings, of course, the two straps and everything that goes into those, and also what our preferences are and everything. But we got a new guest on the podcast, expert here at Ski Shack. Been working here for how long? You've been working here, Noah?
5 years, I think. 5 or 6 years.
Sweet. So we got, to my right, we got Noah Lewis joining us today. And then, of course, we got the man, Rhen Lyden, to my left. Sweet.
What's up,
awesome. First things first. Smelling salt time. It's early, and it's time to wake up. So, here you go, boss.
So here we go.
Yep.
Crush.
Yep.
Crush
We'll all
and
do it
sniff.
at the same time.
Cool.
One for Rhen.
Oh, man.
And then, of course, one for me. There we go.
Smell it already.
Yep. All right, boys. Ready?
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Oh.
Ooh, hot.
Right to the eyes.
Yeah.
Ammonia.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ready, set, go. All right, cool. So, yeah, bindings, guys. Last Gear Talk, we kind of covered everything about boots, so we're just kind of working ourselves from the feet down into the board. So today we're talking about bindings. We've had, some reps come through, especially like the most recent one that I was able to join was the Idaho. And that's been pretty cool to see the evolution of everything. And Rhen, let's start with what you're getting stoked on and some of the new stuff that you've seen so far coming out this season through bindings.
Yeah. So, gosh, I wish I knew exactly when Nidecker launched the Supermatic, but it was a couple of years ago. That's this one you can see right on the table here in front of us. It's kind of a convenience, quick entry, step in from behind binding to kind of combat against the Burton Step On system. Burton's been doing that one for, 8 years now probably on the market. And it's become super popular. People really like it. It's really easy to step in and out of. But you have to have the full Burton system with a step-on boot, which there are a couple other brands that are building the boots now, but you have to have a step-on specific boot and the bindings. So you're looking at dropping like $550 to $650 when you buy that whole setup. With this Nitro Supermatic, you can step into it with any snowboard boot. Just grab your favorite boot that fits well, and you step right in from behind. So a little more affordable option for that convenience binding. So yeah, that one's been out for a little while. But then new to the market this season is this Fase binding that is going to be offered from a few different brands. We have this one from Jones Snowboards. 32 makes it, and there's a couple other brands that are going to be offering this Fase binding. They're all going to be the same thing with different logos on them, different brand names on them. Yeah, so those are kind of the two new step from behind systems. I'm sure a bunch of people out there are familiar with flow bindings.
Yeah.
They've been around for a long time. They are owned by Nidecker. They were bought by Nidecker a handful of years ago. So kind of what they've done with this Supermatic is improve upon what those flow bindings always were. And just making it better, making it easier to get into, a little bit more high performing binding on the snow from what I understand.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I guess the only negative review that you would kind of hear from these Supermatics is that they're a little bit heavier than your traditional strap-in binding, because they have some metal working parts in there. But everyone's saying that they ride really, really well. If you can get past that being a little bit heavier, they're really stable under your foot. They feel like a fairly stiff binding. But from all the reviews and everybody that's been riding them, they seem to ride really well.
Okay. Very cool. And have you have you tested them out on hill yet?
I have not tested out the Supermatic.
Okay.
I have ridden on those phase bindings last year. A couple of days, maybe 3 days, I took them out. The cool thing about the phase binding is it does ride and feel like a regular two-strap binding that you're used to. As far as like weight-wise, it's pretty close. And like fit and comfort and feel, you wouldn't really know that it's a like convenience binding to step in from behind.
Yeah.
It might be a little trickier to step into than the Supermatic. The high back doesn't, fall down quite as far. You kind of have to angle your foot in at like a 45 a little bit when you step in. You kind of have to, tilt your foot a little bit to get it in there. But, it took me like 1 or 2 steps in there to kind of figure out how you angle.
Okay. All right. So they sent us this cool little Supermatic display board to mount the bindings down to, so that we can show you guys how they step in and out through the boot on. So we got the Supermatic here on my left, and then this new phase binding here. So I already set this one to the straps to fit my boot. So I'm just going to show you guys how this thing steps in. It's pretty simple. You just come straight in, step down, and you're in, ready to ride. I mean, unlike some of the flow bindings, the negative feedback that you hear from those is if my straps are loose enough to slide my boot in from behind, then they're not quite tight enough to ride really well, and you might have to reach down and give yourself a couple tightens with your buckle. That's kind of the drawback you're going to hear from a flow binding. These, I stepped right in and this thing's like ready to ride. It's tight and it's really easy out. You just push down on that lever, pull right out. There's this little roller right here, which is what helps your boot roll in really easily. That, helps from the rubber of your boot hanging up on the high back. You're stepping down right on this little camming piece right here, and that's what folds the whole thing down. So again, see, I messed it up. You got to go toe in. But yeah, super easy, quick, especially, literally that's my 3rd time doing it in my life. So once you do this thing a handful of times, it's going to be super quick and easy to use. Let's check this phase binding out. And earlier when I was talking about it, I mentioned you had to kind of do a little like 45 side tilt. I don't know that you have to do that as much as I was thinking. It came straight in right there, straps it down. But unlike the Supermatic, with this one, you snap your high back forward, your toe is good, but you do have to reach down and strap that up like a regular snowboard binding. So there is a little bit of using your hands to strap it on. You have to strap this one down. But it's pretty easy in and out. I would say it feels a little bit more like like a true snowboard binding when I strap it on and I, rock it edge to edge. It feels like any other binding that I've had on, where I do feel a little bit of play here, not much, but just the tiniest amount. Yeah, I would say that one's probably going to ride a little bit more like a traditional binding and just feel more like what you're used to when you're riding. Where I hear that these feel fairly stiff, like a mid-stiff to a stiff binding, which a lot of guys really like, especially guys who like charging fast. Yeah, the reviews from these are great on how they ride. I haven't personally ridden them. I have ridden this one, and I do like the way that it rides. They're both pretty easy in and out. The Supermatic kind of being the ready to go. I would say that one probably combats against the Burton Step On a little bit more, just because you're stepping in and then you're snowboarding versus doing any sort of ratcheting with your hands. Another thing here, you could just pop that up with your foot. So yeah, in and out, real easy. Those are both the new convenience step from behind, super easy in and out bindings that we'll have here at the Ski Shack this year. Come check them out.
Your foot. For your true beginner snowboarder, the Supermatic is probably easier to step into.
Got it.
But that being said, for your true beginner snowboarder who wants like full convenience, the Burton Step-On system is probably still your quickest, easiest, and most hands-free option.
Nice.
Guys, I want to talk about a new sponsor for Let's Talk Snowboarding, which is the Ski Shack in Hayden, Idaho. Ski Shack is a local family-owned and operated ski and snowboard shop located in Hayden, Idaho. They specialize in sales, rental, and repair, and they opened in 1976. That's going on 50 years up here in North Idaho. They have been offering a skiing and snowboarding to North Idaho and beyond for that much time, which is crazy. One of the oldest ski shops in the entire state. We appreciate everyone at the ski shop for supporting Let's Talk Snowboarding. So go in there as soon as possible and get yourself dialed, whether it be getting a fresh tune-up for your board or skis or grabbing some new gear, because they got all the best in outerwear and also in boots and bindings, boards and skis. So head on over to Ski Shack, located at 9437 North Government Way in Hayden, Idaho, and have some fun picking out some cool stuff.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of these brands are kind of catering. Well, they want to reach those beginners that are it's gonna make it more user friendly for them and make it easier for them to kind of get on and off their board. And get into those bindings, because as far as the two strap goes, it's a long learning curve of like actually being able to like stand up and strap into your bindings.
Right, and the idea on some of these, and especially the Burton Step-On, is that you can just step right in without sitting down and getting on your butt and sitting there and getting wet and then having to get back up and do that all day. So that'll save you some energy getting on and off the ground, 30 times throughout the day.
Nice. Yeah. And Noah, Rhen and I were talking before you got in here. So you just recently, are you multidiscipline, or have you made the switch over to snowboarding exclusively because you skied for quite some time?
No, I'm still like multidiscipline.
Okay, cool.
Still ski a lot, snowboard when I feel like it.
Very cool. Nice. And have you tried out the Phase or any of the step on type bindings?
I haven't yet, no.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I want to. I think the phases look like something that I'd be into. It looks like a, like Rhen was saying, like a traditional snowboard binding. It's got like the full foam base plate, not a whole lot of moving parts. Like that Nidecker does have a lot of hinge points and stuff like that. So I think, that phase is something I'd be interested in trying for sure.
Yeah. What's your setup right now as far as bindings go?
I think I just have some Union Atlases.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Yeah,
basic,
pretty simple. Just snowboard binding.
Can't go wrong with Union.
No,
No.
you can't.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you, you working here at the shop, over the last 5 years, how many people, would you say in regards to like what kind of bindings they get? Like what's the percentage of like people coming and looking at something like a step on or a step in versus that traditional two strap?
Honestly, a lot more people than I would have expected are looking for that convenience step-on binding. I feel like that's a lot of our customer base. Like a lot of people are interested in Burton step-ons. We go pretty heavy with the Burton step-ons, I think. Like we order a lot of their bindings, a lot of their boots. We order step-on boots from Nitro. So like we definitely believe in it and people are looking for it.
Yeah.
So I think like going heavier with the convenience binding is a good option because a lot of people are looking for it. But then there's like the other half of it too, where like there's a cult following of, not really like cult following, but like your hardcore, strap binding people, they won't change, and that's fine.
Yeah, because they've been doing it for so
Yeah, they've
long.
been doing
They
it for
got
so
their
long.
routines.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like if it's not broke to them, they don't want to fix it.
Yeah, I'm that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, very cool.
Probably something that your like more experienced snowboarder thinks about when it comes to something like this is, how am I going to get it on in the deep snow? Like, is this going to make it harder to get on when I'm standing in knee deep powder? Like I had to hike through somewhere or something like that. Or how am I going to get it on when I'm on really steep terrain, when I, can't stand there very easily and I kind of have to sit down on the hillside? It's going to be a little more difficult to get into these while you're sitting down.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I thought about that too, and I saw that Supermatic and also the Phase with the binding, the high back folding way back.
Right.
And like if I'm trudging up Big Blue with my board, I like to be able to fold my high backs down so I can just grab my heel cup and just trudge. That just looks like a much more inconvenient thing to carry around. Like if you are a dude who likes to do boot packing and side country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely for like that resort casual
Yeah.
snowboarder.
Yeah.
And I know that Jeremy Jones, Big Mountain Jeremy, was involved with developing this Phase system. And that was kind of one of his concerns, is like, let's make it easier to get on in steep terrain. So the Phase is probably easier to get on in steeper terrain than the Supermatic, just because the high back doesn't fold down quite as much. But yeah, they kind of were trying to address that a little bit.
Yeah.
But still probably not as easy to sit down and just put on a regular strap binding.
Yeah. I can see
If you're dangling off the edge of some sketchy area and
Yeah.
strapping in,
Yeah, that's for sure. And that was something I was going to ask too. Are these Phase and step-in bindings, have you seen if they are split board compatible?
No, they're not, because a split board binding is going to be specific to split boarding. It's got a pin area in the front of the toe that can be hooked up to the ski when you're in ski mode. You can hook up to the toe, and then you can climb with the binding and walk with the binding. So no, they haven't done anything yet for like a convenience step from behind splitboard binding. There is the Burton step-on does make a splitboard binding now, so you can get a step-on and go splitboarding. So if you want that convenience splitboard binding, they do have it from Burton.
Got it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's like going to be the next thing that they
Yeah.
start to look into.
Yeah, we haven't carried the step-on touring binding yet, mainly because we don't sell a ton of touring gear. We don't sell a ton of split boards. We sell a couple. But yeah, it's something we might get into in the future if this area starts to grow in the backcountry world and we get more and more split boarders coming in, because more and more snowboarders they have that step-on boot. So it's going to be easy just to grab that step-on splitboard binding and throw it on their splitboard, because that's what they're riding in the resort.
Got it. Nice. Well, very cool. So yeah, we're kind of take a look at those, as we kind of finish up the episode and stuff, and get a little bit more close up and actually how they kind of function and stuff, and throw some clips on there. But I was going to kind of get into as far as the traditional, two-strap bindings, what are some new things that you guys are seeing from the companies this season as far as like comfort and style and things of that nature? And let's just kind of get into some of these bindings we got set up behind us.
Yeah. So these first couple that we got right here are from Union. This is the Strata from Union. It came out 3-4 years ago, a couple of years ago. It's real lightweight. It comes in at 822 grams, so it's without the base plate, so it's pretty light. It has a really big rubber pad underneath it, and that's gonna help absorb all these like high frequency vibrations that are coming up through your board, into your bindings, into your boot, and then into your muscles, through your legs. And that's what's ultimately gonna like tire out your muscles throughout the day, is just that vibration that comes with just riding down the cat track. Some people think like, oh, my legs are getting tired from all this jumping and squatting actions, but it's really just those high frequency vibes that are wearing you down. So a big chunk of rubber underneath is going to help absorb that vibration and just let your muscles last longer throughout the day. You might get an extra 4 or 5 runs out of these things because you're not so tired at the end.
Very cool.
So yeah, something like that as far as comfort and overall like a really damp, smooth ride. That Strata from Union is pretty awesome. You're going to see a dampening feature in a lot of bindings, but this one just has a lot of it.
Okay. Is that something new that they've kind of started to put onto their bindings? Because I know I have all Union bindings, and they're probably, 3, maybe 4 seasons models ago, and I haven't seen like the actual like rubber.
Yeah.
Full on rubber on the underneath part.
Like I said, this one has a lot more of it, just this big rubber pad, and it sticks out, beyond the edges of the bindings, kind of just to show that it's there probably for the most part. But yeah, most bindings anymore, unless you're buying like a really cheap binding, is going to have some degree of vibration dampening.
Sweet.
Like this other one, like this is the Union Force. This is kind of their bread and butter binding that's been in the line forever. It's a little bit heavier than that one, but it does have some dampening under here, just like little hits of rubber.
Okay.
In the corners.
Gotcha.
And right next to the disc.
Okay.
But not as much as that Strata. But yeah, like even this Phase here, when we were talking about earlier, it's got quite a bit of foam underneath. The foam might not hold up quite as long as rubber, but it's under the binding, so it's not getting a ton of wear. But yeah, you're going to see vibration dampening in most like mid to higher end bindings for sure.
Nice.
And then we got some cool ones over there with Skate Tech that Noah could probably talk about.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a pretty cool feature in bindings.
Yeah, Skate Tech's definitely a favorite of a lot of people here in the shop. I don't think there's anybody in the shop that doesn't ride a Skate Tech binding. And pretty much what the Skate Tech is it's just a little fulcrum point under your foot that gives you like a little bit of mechanical advantage. So like instead of turning the snowboard binding or like turning the snowboard under your feet, you're turning it more close to the edge because of this fulcrum point tilts like ever so slightly. You don't notice it when you're riding. But it like transfers the energy out to these bushings, which are way closer to your edge than like the disc, where the disc sits. So it just gives you like that ever so slightly better response. And the other cool thing about these bindings is you can change out the stiffness on these bushings. So they make like I think it's called there's like a soft, medium, and hard. And the soft is for like a softer, surfier sort of feel. And the hard is for like your dude who wants ultra response, like say he's like a hard carver or whatever.
Yeah.
He wants immediate like board turn initiation. But yeah, how long have these things been out? They've been out a while, like over a decade now.
Yeah, they've had their 10-year a couple years ago. The whole system, Skate Tech, started with a company called Now. That company has now sold to this brand called Yes. So I think it's Yes and Jones who are the two brands that will be using Skate Tech.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really responsive. I think makes for a quicker edge to edge turn. They call it Skate Tech because the idea came from the way that a skateboard truck turns a skateboard.
Sure,
with
yeah.
that type of leverage. Mm-hmm. So it's basically giving you this kind of teeter-totter pivot point that, like Noah said, you don't feel out on the board like it's something squirrely or anything. You just notice that, man, these bindings are quick, edge to edge.
And it's not just like the forward to back response that you feel. Like I really feel like you have great board feel on these bindings, like all around. Like
Right.
having these 4 bushings in the corner of the board. Because like when I'd ride my pair of bindings, those Unions, I got a pair of Union Atlas, like carbon ones or whatever. They got like a super hard base plate, like almost no foam. They're super rigid feel, which is great for like a hard pack day or whatever. But if the snow's like moderately soft and I want to like have good board feel and like kind of slarb through my turns, then something like this is much better,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Very cool. I
Yeah.
bet that's the first. Honestly, that's like the first I've heard of it because I have all union bindings, and I don't know. Do they have a model that they're doing that too, or are they just strictly their
No,
structure on their end? Yeah. Okay.
nope,
So-
they don't.
So Jones and Yes
Jones
in
and
the
Yes are the
in the
brands
shack.
with
Gotcha.
Skate Tech. Yep.
Very cool. That's something I might have to try at some point.
Yeah, we have some demos. You can definitely try them. Any of you guys out there that want to try them out, we'll have some demos in a bunch of these bindings. We have some phase demos. I'm pretty sure we'll have some Supermatic demos. I think I'm going to throw a pair on there. And then, yeah, we've got some different Skate Tech demos as well. So
Nice.
swing by and try some stuff out. Bring your board in that you're used to riding. That's kind of the best way to feel out a new binding would be obviously taking the boot that you're used to, the board that you're used to, throwing a new binding on there, and then you're going to get a good feel for I like these or I don't like these.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess I would say, as far as, we're going through bindings. So Noah, you said you rock the Union Atlas, right? Okay. And how many years have you been, running that binding?
Like 3.
Okay. And is it still, have you had to like replace any parts on it or anything, or is it still holding up just like it was?
No, I haven't had to replace any parts.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a super good binding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, Let's Talk Snowboarding is presented by Mountain Vibes. And Mountain Vibes was started in February 2016 by our CEO and founder, Justin Desmond. With the input of close friends, Mountain Vibes officially went live November 1st of 2017, and Justin runs it with the help of Mountain Vibes co-owner Emily Sorger and our core team. When Justin created Mountain Vibes, his objective was not only to create a snowboarding company, but also a family where passion and the love of snowboarding outweighed years of experience and where judgment is not tolerated. We don't like the cool guys at Mountain Vibes. Everyone should be included in Mountain Vibes. Passion of snowboarding is what brings us all together and makes us a family. Along with creating a snowboarding family, Quality Snowboarding Apparel, we are a nonprofit with an outreach program called Good Vibes and High Fives, where we take less fortunate kids out to snowboard. And I want you to check out our website, mountainvibes.com with a Z, and see what we're all about. We have everything from the charity to the apparel, and we're stoked that Mountain Vibes has presented Let's Talk Snowboarding over these last, 2 years. So thank you to Mountain Vibes.
And how about you, Rhen? What are you rocking right now?
Mostly the skate tech stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I just really like the way that it turns the board. I noticed it right away when we first went down to an on-snow demo like over 10 years ago down in Colorado, and they show us this stuff at the convention the week before, or the weekend before, and they show us this weird binding that's got these moving, fulcrum point, and we're like, because you always see all these gimmicks whenever you go to one of these trade shows. You always see this crazy stuff, and you're like, dude, that's not going to work, or that's not practical at all. So we kind of had that vibe when we were looking at this, but it was, a pro snowboarder, JF Pelchat, who started the brand. He was the one showing it to us. So we're like, it's got to be something, They got guys like Jeremy Jones behind it and stuff. Jeremy's a part owner in the Now brand. So we were like, yeah, we should probably try this. And me and my buddy Matt Lamberth, we were both hopped on a pair, and we're like, wow, these things are unbelievable. They're just the way that they turn the board and how quick they were edge to edge. So yeah, I've been pretty much riding those for 10 years, really. Other than if I'm riding a Burton snowboard, I'll probably ride a pair of Burton EST bindings on there.
Okay. Yeah, and that was another thing, because we all know that Burton has like the channel technology. Is that something that are other binding companies compatible now with like a Burton board? Do they have, because I've seen like Union has like 2 spots on their discs to where you could get on a Burton board with that binding.
Right. Almost every binding brand out there is going to go onto the Burton boards. Cool. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, so they steer away from that channel because they're like, I don't know how that works, and I already have a binding. For, I'd say 90% of the bindings out there, you can get a disc that will work, or the disc that comes with it will work.
I think Nitro is the only one that doesn't.
Really?
Yeah, because they do like all mini disc, and it's only 4.
Right. Okay.
I don't know about their new Step On that they've made. I'd imagine that would be compatible with Burton stuff, but like
you would think
their other bindings aren't.
It seems like Burton has done this a couple times, right? Like at first, when they came out with the channel on their boards, it was Burton bindings and board only, and then it's kind of it's gone out, and all the brands, most of the brands now are able to do that, and now the same with the Step On and technology, to where you can get in and out with a different boot onto a Burton Step On and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, Burton's kind of one of the big innovators in the sport. When they brought that channel to market, they didn't patent it.
Yeah.
And the reason they did that is because they wanted everybody to use it.
Sure.
They wanted it to become the new industry standard because they really feel like it turns the board the best.
Yeah.
The whole idea behind the channel is you can, if you use that EST binding, which only comes from Burton, but other brands could, figure out a way to use it. But basically, when you put a circular disc down onto the board, you've got this hard piece of plastic that's kind of locking the board up, in those 2 spots where your board's meant to flex tip to tail in this like kind of nice progressive way. If you're locking up those 2 points, you kind of have these 2 dead zones where the board's not allowed to flex the way that it was supposed to. So that was the idea, is making this channel, mounting the binding on the outsides of the binding so that the binding can flex with that tip to tail flex of the board, so you're not getting that dead zone right under your foot.
Sure.
So that was kind of the whole idea. They're putting it in, they're putting the board into, machines that are measuring it with lasers and all sorts of stuff, and they're bending the boards, and they're getting all this feedback and running it through their computers and whatever, doing a whole bunch of science on it, and they're seeing these dead spots in the board, and then they're obviously feeling them when they're out there riding. Guys who have ridden a ton and are super nerds on it, they're geeking out on this kind of stuff, and And yeah, that's kind of the whole reason that it came along was this is better. And they weren't really trying to patent it. There are a couple brands that use it. They're smaller brands. There's one up in Canada that uses it, and I'm forgetting their name. So there are a couple brands that do use that channel. Some of the other, like K2 uses it in their split boards.
Okay.
So there's a couple split board brands that are using it. But yeah, that was kind of the whole idea behind the channel, but it didn't really take off like I think they thought it would. And not really everybody else started using it.
Yeah. Gotcha. As far as the binding that you see, the company and the binding that you see the most sold here at the Ski Shack, what would you say that is flying off the shelves the most?
I mean, we probably, when people are just coming in and asking for a binding brand, probably Union.
Yeah.
I would say they're one of the most well-known binding brands out there. They're known for being very strong and durable and reliable. So people, they have that in their head. I can buy a pair of Unions and it's going to last me for 10 years.
And if something breaks, it's pretty easy with their customer service. They'll just send you
They'll send you
that
new stuff.
that new piece. Yeah.
And people sell them everywhere, so you
Right.
can get parts anywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you can, whatever snowboard mountain you're at, they probably have some Union buckles and
Yeah.
stuff on hill.
So if it breaks out there on hill, you can run into the shop and
Probably
get back out there pretty quickly.
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a big deal for a lot of people. So yeah, as far as like brand popularity, Union still holds that pretty well. But like Noah was saying, as far as like our guys in here, when people come in and say, what's new in bindings? For the last 10 years, we've been showing them this skate tech stuff. I guess now we're going to be showing them this convenience rear entry stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we'll be talking with a lot of people about now.
Nice. This is a funny question. You ever think you're gonna have Clue in the shop?
Clue.
I think I probably know the answer to that, but it's just it's such a weird
Yeah, the answer
concept.
is no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to talk to you about a new sponsor that we have. So, big shout out to our friends at Fine Brewed Cafe in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Whether you're gearing up for a powder day or winding down after a long ride, Fine Brewed has you covered with craft coffee, legendary mimosas, and a killer vibe. They're all about fueling adventures, connecting the community, and keeping you caffeinated for whatever the mountain throws your way. So next time you're in town in Coeur d'Alene, stop by Fine Brewed on Sherman Avenue, grab a cup, and keep chasing that stoke.
Well, I guess first off, the reason that we do carry a lot of the brands that we carry is the reps come into the store and they say, hey, what's up? I'm repping this brand. Here's some bindings. Try them out. See what you think.
Yeah.
That hasn't ever happened yet with anybody repping Clue coming in here saying like, hey, try these out. If it happened, we would try them. We would have somebody try them and we'd give them a good shake. But
Walk around the village with the horse stirrups on your feet.
Yeah, you've got like half your binding on your feet as you're walking around in the lodge.
I just don't think people who snowboard made those bindings.
No, it was definitely some kind of like
Yeah, I think like some banker dude dreamt that up in a dream and was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this.
somebody who's really, because their whole thing is kind of like, I feel like they're really into like the influencers and stuff, and they send influencers
Instagram bindings, dude.
Yeah, basically. Like I remember, I think it was 2 winters ago at Schweitzer. Snowboard Jesus was up there and doing like, I don't know what he was doing. I can't remember if it was like the board company he rocks or I think it was the board company, because he also is on another interesting topic is Gilson snowboards and how they say they have like this cutting edge, like weird edge technology. I don't even know what it is, but anyways, like he was up there doing that, and I saw him walking around with the stirrups, and I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah, if someone's going to pay you to walk around with them on, then
Yeah.
you probably are going to.
Yeah, I mean,
Get that money.
yeah, he's getting his, so more
Right.
power to him, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, keep
But
doing
yeah.
your thing.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, as far as like brands that you guys carry, we can throw some shots up as we're talking about this. But I see Union, I see Yes, I see Jones, I see Bent Metal. I don't know. I see Nidaker up there in Burton. Are there any other brands that you guys carry here in the shack, or is that pretty much? Oh, Nitro as well.
Nitro.
Yeah.
Yep. So really, a good handful of the best brands out there.
Yeah.
We carry.
Gotcha. Very cool. And as far as like, let's talk a little bit about like, is there much difference between like a men's binding versus like a women's binding? As far as like style or actual like dimensions of that binding?
Yeah, Noah, you want to take that?
Yeah.
The only one I really know, like off the top of my head, would be that shorter high back, because
Right.
most women's boots are a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Because of like their calves come down shorter, I think is what
Yeah.
the reasoning is. But yeah, just shorter high back. But really, a lot of companies nowadays are like moving towards that whole unisex
Yeah.
model. So I think going forward, you're not going to see as much of a difference.
Very
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, other than them being pink,
Colors.
shorter high back,
Yeah.
they might have a little bit of a narrower heel cup in some bindings just to accommodate like narrower, smaller boot. And they might be a little bit softer in some cases because most women are a little bit lighter weight. But yeah, there's not a huge difference, and probably the high back being the most noticeable difference, that it's a little bit shorter.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, like, if, say, like, lady comes in, gets a women's boot, she could potentially probably still get, like, a men's binding in a certain size,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. And
Yeah.
it's just kind of all about preference and how it feels. How
Yeah.
it feels for everybody, honestly. Like, everyone's different, so.
Right, and how the boot fits into the binding.
Yeah.
If you are coming to shop bindings, it's not a bad idea to bring your boot in with you.
Yeah.
Just to size it in there and see how much room you have side to side. Because all boots, an 11 from one brand could be a lot less bulky
True.
than 11 from another brand. A different footprint.
Get your hands on it and see how you feel it, like, because we all are adjusting our straps all the time,
Right.
and see how easy it is to actually, like, because different weather and different conditions can dictate, like, oh, I gotta go like one notch up on like my ankle strap because it's looser or it's colder that day. So just all about comfortability and everything. So
Right.
yeah, nice. Yeah, get your hands on the product
Yeah.
so that you can kind of feel it and see what you like and what you don't like.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I guess we'll kind of segue into boards is going to be our next gear talk coming up.
Yeah.
I would say anything else you guys like want to say about bindings that you guys carry or just the bindings in general for this upcoming season.
Josh, do you ever notice that when you buy tickets for a show, you get hit with all these hidden fees?
Yeah, for sure. I'm tired of being gouged with hidden fees.
Dude, I just discovered this, but now whenever I purchase tickets, I try to search for venues and artists that use Ticket Goat.
What's Ticket Goat?
Ticket Goat is the greatest ticketing software of all time. With Ticket Goat, promoters can expect hassle-free setup, zero obligations, and a revolutionary $1 ticketing fee for event attendees.
So we can say so long to hidden fees?
Dude, 100% zero hidden fees. With Ticket Goat, steep ticketing fees are a thing of the past. Ticket Goat's revolutionary ticketing software allows owners to create custom ticketing options, access to event reporting, and a digital QR codes for mobile ticket scanning, all with no commitments and transparent pricing.
Sick. That means event owners can keep their profits and ticket buyers can purchase ticks without being gouged.
Definitely. If you are in charge of ticket sales and want a fast and easy way to sell tickets, go to www.ticketgoat.com and join the herd today.
Sick.
We do carry some of those split board specific bindings. If you are looking for a split board binding, we've got those. We've got all the Step On stuff, like Noah said, from boots from different brands. Yeah, I mean, we basically have something for everybody, from your entry level binding at, starting around $200 up to your, full top end binding, which they can get up close to the $500 mark.
Yeah.
And we've got everything in between and a whole bunch of color patterns to match back to your board. So yeah, we have a good binding collection or selection. So yeah, come check it out. You can step in from all different directions or straight down or strap them up like the old way.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of skate tech and a lot of phase. And I think Rhen said he's going to throw a Supermatic on demo so you can come try them out before you buy.
Yeah, try before you buy.
Yeah, try before you buy.
Good idea.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining in today, guys, for another Gear Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Appreciate it, man. So yeah, that's been Let's Talk Snowboarding Gear Talk number 2 with bindings. We want to thank Noah and Rhen for their time. We want to thank the Ski Shack, of course, for letting us, record here before opening. And thank you to all of our other sponsors, Mountain Vibes, Ticket Goat, Hagedon Technologies, and Fine Brewed down on Sherman. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Later.